Mike Wise joins me now with tonight's entertainment package. Mike, you're finally live back in the club.
Yeah, Ron, it's been about a month we've had our live eye in the shop. We are listening right now to Rebecca Campbell and her band down here at Say What, corner of Church and Front Street, I guess. She's a singer I've been wanting to check out for a while. I know she's been playing a couple of venues around Toronto now. She's originally from Ottawa. Used to play in a band called Fat Man Waving, but has since relocated here, got a band together. She's been doing some singing with Jane Sibrey here in Toronto and is going to be working on a new album, hopes to release by next summer.
Sounds good. And Mike, a visit by a guy who must have a tough time getting injury insurance.
Yeah, a guy named Jackie Chan. If you're not familiar with Jackie Chan, he made his name over a series of films he's done in his native Hong Kong. Big international movie action star. His claim to fame is that he does all of his own stunts himself. He's now slowly making the transition to Hollywood movies, and tonight making a transition to becoming an author, because he was at Chapters bookstore on Bloor Street signing autographs in his book for literally hundreds of his local fans. They certainly were a patient bunch. Some fans of Jackie Chan's Hong Kong action films lined up for over 3 hours. After they shelled out $35 for a copy of Chan's new book, they got to join a lineup that snaked its way through the bookstore shelves. Those that were lucky got their books signed by cinema's most dangerous hands. So, was it all worth it?
Oh yeah, it was worth it. Lined up for about 3 hours. I'm a big Jackie Chan fan.
It's really special, I guess. You know, it's something I went to do, and I want to tell all my friends that, haha, I did it.
It's a great book. It's a lot of fun. Great character.
Who are you with?
My son.
Your son?
Yeah. But I like him. I'm the bigger fan here, so yeah.
Chan went from the book signing to introduce his latest film, Rush Hour, which had a special screening a few blocks away at the Uptown Theater. Just a little media circus there earlier. They kept strict numbers on the media. We were allowed to shoot him for a minute and then just ushered us right out after about 5 minutes of access to him. Now, lots of ground to cover tonight, including a little bit of Las Vegas at the Broadcast Center earlier today.
Hi there.
The Waynster himself, the king of Newtonia, Wayne Newton, showed up for an interview with Pamela Wallen. Newton talked about going bankrupt, being a child star, and life in the world's entertainment capital. It'll all be part of Wallen's new fall season that kicks off next week on Newsworld and the main CBC network. Now, Wayne Newton was in town locally tonight because he was performing up at Casino Rama in Orillia. Now, over at the Hummingbird Center earlier today, there was an announcement about a new international dance series. They're calling it the Royal Bank International Dance Series. The moves kick off in October with the Houston Ballet bringing Dracula. In November, Spain reigns with ballet Cristina Hoyos. Hoyos is credited with bringing flamenco learned from the gypsies to the stages of the world. La 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 Human Steps is a Canadian company, but might as well be international. They're on the road so much. They come to the Hummingbird early next year. And finally, Les Ballets de Monte Carlo mixes classical and modern dance styles. Now from dance to films, and it is just 1 week until the city's streets become clogged with limousines ushering movie types and industry types and movie stars all over the place for the Toronto International Film Festival. Today, tickets went on sale, and John Northcott was there.
It looks like these people are cramming for a final exam, and for some, it's almost as stressful as they try and balance ticket availability with personal schedules.
As many as I can physically handle. I'm hoping that I'll be able to manage around 45, which is a lot.
Between 5,000 and 10,000 people will be processed on this first day, but others leave it right up to the last minute.
You're going to be fine. There's still a lot to see, and there's always rush tickets at the theaters that you can get. So, you know, a lot of people go see films that way. They go straight to the box office.
One concern looming for organizers is the Air Canada strike. About 1,000 key festival players fly in with the carrier, which is also an official sponsor. If the strike isn't settled, the festival hopes Air Canada will find other carriers to do the job.
I mean, there's a lot of people obviously coming in other airlines anyway, and if Air Canada moves those guests that were flying Air Canada over to other airlines, hopefully there'll be minimum of disruption. I mean, that's what we've all got our fingers crossed.
Overall, 250,000 people attend the Toronto International Film Festival. John Northcott, CBC Entertainment, Toronto.
Here's another sample of Rebecca Campbell. We are live down at Say What here on Front Street and Church tonight. Finally, this is what I consider to be the last unofficial final weekend, whatever, of the summer before school is supposed to start for most students again on Tuesday. This is Labor Day weekend, and of course I'm going to be stuck at a friend's wedding out in Elora on Saturday. But for everybody else, there is a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Here then is our Thursday night weekend survival guide. It's your last chance to catch this year's CNE. Just $16 gives you unlimited access to the Midway and all the attractions. If you want to bypass the rides, though, admission is $9. But the real action will be in the skies. As the Canadian International Air Show returns, running Saturday, Sunday, and Labor Day Monday. Perennial favorites, the Snowbirds, will be back, as well as the Northern Lights aerobatic team, the Skyhawks, and even some simulated dogfights. It's all free with admission to the X. Also free at the X on Sunday, the second annual Urban Music Festival at the Bandshell, featuring R&B, reggae, and hip-hop. Canada's Wonderland hosts a two-day Italian Superfest, featuring acts like Ragazzi Italiani, Italy's version of the Backstreet Boys. Plus, Mel Asman Square hosts an Hispanic festival, celebrating the culture of Latin America.
Now when you get out, don't you have a no, put your hands on your hips and let you...
Finally wrap up the weekend with a great lineup of free concerts at Kew Gardens in the Beaches. You can catch performances by acts like 5440, The Philosopher Kings, and Colin James, all courtesy radio station Mix 99.9. Just in case my friends that are getting married on Saturday are watching, Chris and Krista, best of luck. I am looking forward to going to that wedding, even though it is on Labor Day weekend. Now, finally, one last thing to tell you about. If you are a serious Beatles fan, there is a 4-CD disc anthology coming out, likely in November, you'll be very interested in. It contains more than 100 previously unreleased solo recordings by former Beatle John Lennon. Now, as every time you hear about these undiscovered solo recordings, these were home recordings and studio outtakes retrieved from the vaults at EMI Capitol Records. And there were also studio outtakes, things like this. Yoko Ono, of course, John Lennon's widow, was serving as the executive producer on the recording, and Sean Lennon also participated in the makings of the recordings. They're going to come with a 60-page booklet with liner notes. As I said, they're not officially announcing the date of the release, but it's expected to be sometime in November. Perfect Christmas gift, I guess, for anyone you know that is a serious John Lennon or a Beatles fan. Of course, from Say What at Front and Church with the sounds of Rebecca Campbell behind me, Ron. That's a wrap on entertainment for tonight.
Thanks, Mike, and behave yourself at that wedding.
I'll be a good boy.
All right.
Thank you.
Over to Brian Dunstan now with a look ahead to sports. And Brian, 7 in a row for the Jays.
Ron, it's 7-11 for the Jays, thanks to a productive game at the plate from leadoff hitter Shannon Stewart. The late night sports is next.